How's everyone? I'm Alright, today, right now, this news, just before earlier, I had talked about the Philadephia. We got many of the store, including Apple Store, Raw liquor store, Raw. Like a lot of people just go into Raw and whatsoever. So I was good. But what I'm gonna talk about, just a few stuff before we step into more specific detail into this one. We are gonna talk about a Pacific so-called influencer called Meatball. So real life name, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I'm just gonna call her Miss Blackwell or is that this influencer got caught, arrested, and I believe she was sent to so-called like sent in for questioning and was not even go to the point of having her mugshot taken and proof with her mugshot being released with proof that she had tears, it literally showed that she was crying when she was taking the mugshot. And in case anyone need to know, that is already proven. I believe what I say was not wrong. That I say that when they catch and arrest many of the people, they are young children, juvenile, young teenage, and some of them being young adult, maybe on at least 20, including Meatball herself. So Meatball herself is just at the age of 21. And like I mentioned, many of these people are very young and just need some right guidance to show them the right moral and stuff. So why do I kind of like want to talk about Meatball for now? Okay, there is a few things that I really have an issue, not really with her herself, but it's the way she act. What you guys need to understand that time and time again I'm telling people that we have to lead people in the right way. We are called influencer for a reason. There may be some people who lead people the bad way, but if I'm the one, if people are gonna call me an influencer, I'm gonna lead people in the right way. So there will be always people leading down the bad way and people leading down the right way. So the thing is, right, what I'm having an issue with Meatball at the moment is that I thought, like, anyone I will put the video link in the description below about me nagging and whatever. I'm not gonna like repeat the whole damn thing again. I'm not going to tell the whole damn world my issue with those kind of people because I generally believe that there are some people who can reform. There are some people who can change. But the one thing I'm having an issue right now is that Meatball, after getting released on bond of $25,000 USD, the one thing that got me quite pissed off was that she returned to streaming. And I mean, like, Amazon, she just went back to streaming. Just give people an update. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Not really. It's just how she act after that I have an issue with. What you guys need to understand that during the looping, she has shown in the live stream that she encouraged people to loot. She encouraged people to do this kind of thing, like going to shop to loot, steal, rob. Like, you're influencer with like 80, like 180,000 followers, and you're telling everyone that this should be you're like encouraging people to do robbing, stealing, and whatsoever, or even creating violence. Like, dude, this is an issue that I have with her. Whether whether all her friends will come and attack me or not, that'll be a story and for another video. But the one thing I'm having an issue right now is that I generally believe with a D that she would change. She would, like, okay, after this situation, she learned a hard lesson. She got traumatized. Okay, she'll try to prevent herself from doing this kind of thing. She'll try to prevent herself from encouraging this kind of thing. She will try to tell the whole world that this is not the right thing to do, and she'll reform and become a better herself. But instead, she go and like she and kind of like, well, I'm not going to put it up there myself, but basically news saying like she begged for cash in her live stream. She telling people that she's going to sell merchandise and people should buy merchandise and support her. Bad fan for cash as a welcome home gift. I'm not even sure whether her I regret it sound convincing to me right now at the moment. It's ridiculous. I mean, like, if people want to support her by buying her merchandise, go ahead. I won't stop them. I'm not stopping them. But the way she is betting for her cash, that is something I'm having an issue with. Because what you guys have to understand, in full content, she is asking people to give her money so that she can have her toe done, her nails done. She need to have a manicure lah. Her manicure, her nail very in a bad condition. She need to have a nail done. Any sugar daddy want to give her, or maybe sugar mommy also good, you know. You know, guys, I personally don't mind having sugar daddy or sugar mommy giving me a little bit of money, but the way she bet for it just because she want to have a new done. Like, if I bet for money, probably I will have to use the money to get a new PC computer so I can stream on a, so I can create more games, so I can stream more content, so I can stream with my model on every single time when I live stream. At least that's what I'm thinking. But do I bet for money? No. But people give me money? Oh, I'll humbly accept it. Itadakimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. But the one thing is that the way she do stuff, kind of like, yeah. Do you really regret it, young Lele? Are you sure you are regretting this whole damn thing, young Lele? You're very young and I mean, like, she's 21 years old. I'm like giving myself a face bomb at the moment that I thought she will learn her lesson, but she doesn't seem to learn her lesson. So yeah, I don't know. In regards back to the whole damn thing is that what I mentioned about putting evidence on a gold platter and give it to the police. The one thing I kind of mentioned this time and have again, that if you go and live stream your trade and the way you talk, the way you say stuff is going to backfire on you. And the funny thing is that there are police who go to social media to take a look, and they are kind of like taking notes of those live stream to as evidence, and they're going to keep it as evidence to use it against the people. And what this influencer had showcased to the whole world, she had encouraged looting, she had encouraged stealing, she had encouraged this kind of whole situation in her own live stream. And she doesn't even seem to regret. Even though she said, "Oh, I regret it. I'm very sad." You know what? I think that girl on you look very good on you lah. After you come out, those don't seem like generic tears to me anymore. You know, look like crocodile to me. Oh, maybe she's. I mean, like, maybe she is a crocodile. I mean, like, she just need to eat more meat. Maybe anyone want to give her more meat, maybe just go and feed her. But it's, if she really know that she can change for the better, we will let time tell. When the time tell everything, we will know for sure by then in the future, or maybe in near future, whether will she actually reform or not. So I can't really talk too much on that because it's just crazy this kind of thing is happening, because the way she is like betting for cash after releasing, and kind of like showing like the way she act doesn't seem whatsoever. I mean, like, even her tears, she was like, when I saw the martial, I was like, oh, I think you learned quite a harsh lesson. Hope that you can become better. But in fact, she is not even, like, doesn't seem to show that she generate change for the better. So it's really, like, America is very disappointing. But one thing I believe what this issue kind of like interesting to take note, which I won't step into too much because it seems a little bit too much for me to cover on. But like I mentioned, I believe that out of the over 50 people that they had arrested, I had mentioned about young teenagers, how young juvenile, or even a lot of people thought that it's just all black. Well, apparently there are some white people. Okay, so they actually show some mugshot of young white children, but based on my age and their age. An old man like me would say they are still young, but do they what that this kind of thing they do? Do I think they are right? No, I need to learn a very harsh lesson. The police should tell them what they need to do is go through some counselor, reform through some reform sensor, and then go and make sure people tell them that what they do is to become a better dancer so that they can do the same thing. You don't understand what I say? Yeah, no need to worry. I don't even know. But basically, what I believe is that in crime and in the eyes of the law, there is no such thing that whether you're black or you're white. This situation, this planet has shown to the whole world that there are black and white people doing the looping. But what surprised me was that people are justifying this looping because they say this is a form of protest over something that was morally wrong previously, where there was a case of a court dismissing a case about a police violent situation. So does morally wrong make things that what they this whole looping is justified? I don't think so. If people think that what the Philadephia courts, the way they dismiss the situation of the police violence, yeah, it's just that there is not enough evidence to prove that, and in a sense, many people take it that it's morally wrong. They are taking it to protest, and I can understand a protest. But people justifying looping as a mean of protest, that is too much of a stretch. Like, dude, just because other people did wrong and you think you did wrong, you're also correct. What you're doing is just basically not really improving. It's more like encouraging this kind of thing to happen. And I believe the police should actually look into the case more carefully, not into just the loop thing, but into police violence. Police violence have been an ongoing situation in America for years. I don't think it's just 1 or 2 years. It's not just 2-3 years. It's not just 4-5 years. I believe it have been years, and I don't think I will be wrong to say decades, or even worse, a century. So these kind of things should be really looked into. But at the same time, I believe the whole of the government of America, whichever state they are from, and including the president of America, if they are really watching my video, but hopefully they are, that they have to what they have to do is that it's not just about educating the mass. It's not about giving the people what they should do and what they should not do. Number one thing that they have to try to consider is maybe using other country like Singapore. On why do Singapore a majority of the people doesn't like racism in Singapore? Like how can people of different race in Singapore intertwine and communicate with each other so nicely? But does that mean that there is no racism in Singapore? No, in fact, there are, which I'll talk about in a future video as another topic. But the one thing I kind of need to let a lot of people know is that racism situation, there has to be a law against it. If people are racism, there should be a law against it or try to discourage things from happening. Like, if people think that racism is a good thing, think again. They should create a law against it. because it's not like saying like people. But people will be like, hey, but they're against the law of the number one where all men are free. Like I talk about this like this is kind of a double-edged sword, but the thing is right, if you want to prevent this kind of thing from happening, if you want people to talk about their freedom, their opinion, yes, go ahead. But they have to create a law against hate. Racism has been ongoing for years, and I believe America is already like showing to the whole world how bad the situation are in America. And looping, I mean, like if this kind of situation where people saying like, oh, it's all black or all white, if this is like I mentioned, just because Meatball is a black doesn't mean that what she's do is right. But does that mean that all black love to do this kind of thing? No. Like I mentioned in that I believe there might be cases of white people, and I was right. There are white people being caught for looping too. But what I'm kind of surprised is that I will just say once and once only. The government is not trying to. They should not just only trying to prevent racism, but what I believe they should look not just on that, but also look into police violence to prevent this kind of thing from happening, as well as to give a better education to the whole of America, and God bless America, that everyone should be given a education on how to be morally respectful to one another, regardless of religious, race, and even language. This is something that America should create a law on. And this whole situation is getting out of hand because people justify right now people are thinking like just because one violent is being spared, all these things is should be sparable. No. What they did is wrong. And like I mentioned, they live stream it. You're just basically putting evidence on the gold platter for the policeman to use it against them. So it's kind of interesting to see this kind of thing happening to them. But I'm not saying like, oh, so I be laughing, so I be saying. What actually interests me to look into this case myself is that people are using another ongoing situation as a mean to justify their action, even though the situation doesn't seem to justify that. And it's kind of sad that people thinking that, oh, just because the one thing is that people are just it's kind of sad to see this kind of thing happening. But what I'm surprised to see that they actually indicate that there are rape cases there, there are shooting cases there, there are violence there. What they are indicating is it justified one thing, and that thing is that I should not go to America, even though it's one of the top 3 countries I want to go. But like I mentioned, it's also one of the top 3 countries that I do not wish to go. It's really, it's just basically one of the countries that I wish I can go, but because of what they did, I won't go. I won't say that I will get raped because I'm a guy, but who knows? I might go there and get raped by another guy, and or maybe a girl. So I don't know. So but there is also a likely chance of me like enter the place and get shot in the head or shot in the heart, and people just rob me on the spot. Like who knows? So it really kind of made me afraid to go to US because of this situation. Um, it's just ridiculous, but it's something that I believe people should sit down and rethink how to improve the social, as well as to help assist those people on guiding them into the right path. But for that influencer, if people encouraging her on this kind of thing, I think someone should look into I just feel like she I know it sounds harsh, but I really feel like she need to get locked up first, like not lock up for just one day and got released on bail, but basically lock her up for at least a few months and let her understand the consequence behind her encouraging on looping and stuff, to let her know what she did wrong, and hopefully someone in the prison will help to guide her the right way. But considering the reformation in America prison, I don't think I can put too much hope on that. But we'll leave that up for now. Although I really wanted to put a short video over all this, but this is just something that is like me basically putting out 20 plus minutes of what I'm thinking right at the moment, and how you guys don't mind me. I mean, like, just don't mind this old man nagging a man old man and the lock time on, alright? And don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random video, and we'll talk again at the next video live stream. So with that being said, good day, good night, and goodbye.